I'm Insomniac.
And I'm Pops.
And this is Shooting the Shit.
a.k.a. Chatting with Pops.
Alright, this is episode 13 of Shooting the Shit. This is a public episode, obviously. That's why most of you are watching this. If you're wondering what happened to episodes 10, 11, and 12, those were patron-exclusive episodes with topics picked by our patrons. In order to be a part of that cool club of awesome people, you got to get to that link at the top of the video description and sign up and all of that shit. Then you get to see these two crazy bastards talk about stuff every single week. Being that this is a public episode, we didn't use a patron-picked topic, which we use every week. We picked a topic that we hold near and dear to our hearts. Living in New Jersey. Living in New Jersey. We've lived in New Jersey our entire life. For me, that's 3 decades.
And for me, it's 5.5 decades already.
You know, getting old over here.
I know Rob probably will slam New Jersey, period. For me, there's...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for me, there's pros and cons. Well, if I start right off, the taxes here in New Jersey, in this tri-state area, period, but Jersey, are just horrible property taxes.
In our particular county, I think they're the highest in the country right now.
Right, it is stifling how bad the taxes are. So that sucks about living in New Jersey, especially this county, but all New Jersey's horrible. You know, I don't know. I mean, but yet, you know, yesterday I took a ride with my wife, and, you know, we were in such beautiful parts of New Jersey, it's like all of a sudden we were in paradise. So Jersey's a funny place. And for me, if I go down to the seashore, and there's so many seashore points in Jersey that are beautiful, most of them. I mean, it's just a beautiful place. And again, you feel like you're in paradise. So the pros and cons are...
Let's take things piece by piece.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Because actually, there's a lot of things I wanted to say about things you said.
Right.
I'll bring up one thing at a time, and let's bounce these off of each other here and see what we think. I'll start with one of the simple ones. All right, now, New Jersey. If you can live in New Jersey, you can live anywhere in this whole country. We get everything from negative temperatures, literally negative temperatures, below zero, up through triple-digit temperatures in the summer. And I absolutely hate the winters here. They are miserable because we get at least 1 or 2 storms a year, and as opposed to other parts of the country that know how to deal with snowstorms, you could get 3 feet and still be moving. Over here, if we get 10 inches, 12 inches, it's like the state's crippled. It is absolutely incredible. I mean, I hate the cold to begin with.
Which makes no sense.
Right, but they don't know how to do anything here, so 10 or 12 inches of snow, you know, everything's closed, you can't get anywhere, we don't live on like a little dead-end street in a little no-name town. We live on a pretty main drag in a suburban area here, and our stuff doesn't get plowed sometimes
it could be quite horrible.
8 or 9 hours after a storm. So there's that. He was talking about how parts of New Jersey are like paradise. That's very true, and actually one very unique thing about New Jersey is it's one of the few areas I've ever been to where you can go around the wrong block and drive 2 blocks in one direction and wind up getting shot to death.
It's not just Jersey, though. There's other places, but that's
not
true.
Like New Jersey. New Jersey is, even other people that have come here from out of state say that it's interesting that even on our street, for example, I mean, we don't live in the hood, but you can go from our area, which is, if you don't know the area, you might think this is sketchy, till you drive 2 blocks up and there's mansions.
Forget it. It's beautiful.
And it's not just like that here in our area. It's like that all over New Jersey. You have areas where, you know, you have big affluent towns and communities, and then you drive down the hill and make a left, and you're like, holy shit.
I will say this about that, speaking on that, I have an actual story. When I first met my wife, she lived here forever. Would still live here. And that happened. I got in the car, we live where it's like, you know, suburban and, you know, regular multi-dwelling houses, some singles, you know. I get in the car, my girlfriend, she was my girlfriend at the time, and I drive up the street, he's right, and we're talking a city block away, and wow, it's like, wait a second, what is this? It's like basically a small mansions and stuff, it's like on the same street. It is like what he said, that's true, and I had that experience early on, it like blew my mind. I don't think you care about discussing taxes, you ain't paying $14,000 a year, but that's my really massive beef. Is that they're choking everybody. choking us to death.
And keep in mind that
Choking
$14,000 a year is for our property's about the size of a small parking lot.
Nothing. We got nothing.
There's no property here. It's about 15 feet of grass in the back.
Yeah, if that. Yeah.
And so let's talk about neighboring towns and tie that into another part of living in New Jersey. We live about 7 minutes from Newark. And anybody who doesn't know anything about
just came from there.
Anybody who doesn't know anything about New Jersey even knows Newark because that's the capital, and it's also kind of infamous for being high for crime rate and other things.
Bad.
But here's the thing I want to bring up. Newark was voted in national surveys multiple times, including this past year, as the unfriendliest city in the country. Now, what I want to get at here is it's not Newark. It's not just Newark. Newark, I guess, is the main city that they put in the survey. It's
right.
New Jersey.
It is.
Doesn't matter where you go here.
Earlier.
You could go to other areas where the people are more polished, the cars are nicer, and the town looks prettier. But everybody's just as big a douchebag.
Absolutely.
And it's
I
everywhere
just said that
here.
before. Yeah, it's the truth.
That's part of living in New Jersey. If you want friendly, you better stay far away from here.
Yeah, go somewhere else.
Not to say that I don't contribute to the anger in the state, but I don't know. I think I was bred here, and that's what you're gonna get.
Yeah, well.
Driving here, we won't go too into detail with that because we did driving pet peeves in episode 9. But let me just blanket that with two main points.
Here we go again.
Most of the driving pet peeves we pointed out, you can find them all here in Jersey every second of your commute. And B, the biggest point about living in New Jersey / driving in New Jersey is driving. Good luck. Everything here is gridlocked traffic everywhere all the time.
Terrible.
Rush hour here is from about 3 p.m. until about 8 p.m. in the morning. Forget it. Might as well take a helicopter to work. Everything's a parking lot here all the time. And not on the highways. I mean, even in the towns now. I work on a side street, and that's gridlock traffic in both directions for 5-6 hours a day.
Yeah, another thing with that, and we did this pet peeve show on driving, is there's a bunch of drools on the road. Vegetables. There's a bunch of people on the road that are brain dead. And that makes for a fun time here in Jersey. And I'm not even exaggerating saying that. Sorry if it's insulting, but there are a lot of brain dead people. And as he said before, really fucking rude, nasty, indignant people. That's true.
And not just brain dead. Let me get on to the next point related to that. Nobody speaks English. If you live in this state, you either need to know multiple languages or know some languages not English because it's probably more useful. Nobody that I deal with seems to speak English. And not just visitors and whatnot, which I don't understand why they have a driver's license. But to the extent where I have delivery drivers pull up and don't know one word of English. I had to have my coworker about 2 days ago literally come down there to tell this guy how to make a left and go to the last door on the right. I couldn't tell that guy that in English.
Hey, well,
not one word of English.
You know what you're...
Why does he have a job?
I'm going to switch this topic up for just a moment inside here. What you are actually proving, and this pisses me off, when us Italian people came here, got off the boat, I heard the stories from my fathers, my uncles, you couldn't get a job, you were totally discriminated against. Here we go, no one was ever discriminated against except minorities. Not true. I lived it, even I was on the cusp of this. True story. Now, this shows the progress. We couldn't get a job. I don't care if you were driving for FedEx, you couldn't get a job. You couldn't speak it, or you were just simply Italian. Oh, because racism was alive and well. And that was against Italians. I've seen it plenty of times. Italians need not apply. That was America in my time, but only certain people get discriminated against. That's not true. So now you're lighting a fire in my ass on that because,
And we slid a little bit off the topic.
Well, I know, but
by a little bit, I mean
kind of
miles off.
I just want to point out that that's kind of proven that, things are so bad still. No. But now today, this America's still so bad. No, it's not. However, I agree. How do we communicate? I mean, we're in America. I mean, problem is there that we give those liberties, and that's cool, but then folks don't go head over here and go, let me learn how to speak English,
All right, but now where we're way off topic is that that could be a whole topic.
Yes, it could.
My point is that as opposed to in other areas of this country, in New Jersey, you were gonna see that and find that more often than not. Almost everybody you're driving next to, talking to, you go into stores. There's whole areas of towns where all of the businesses are in a different language. Nobody in the areas of those towns actually speaks English at all. But what I'm saying now is now it's bled to the point where people that you're dealing with in your day-to-day life and businesses and
but it's true.
no English.
Right.
So in this state, it's getting hard to communicate with anybody.
It is.
I don't know any other languages unless I move out of the country. I don't really plan on learning any other languages. And in New Jersey, it seems like you need to know a good 2 or 3. The roads here are third world.
Oh no, they're fixing them now because elections are coming up. The other elections locally.
Well, they're working on it, and I'll tell you what, fixing all the roads at once does creates more traffic.
Oh, worse than ever.
Now, instead of there being just detours on highways, there's detours on all the side streets.
It's a mess.
My 5-minute commute to work turns into 15 lately, and the roads here are bad to the extent where I was discussing with somebody recently, like even a motorcycle's not really feasible here. There's loose gravel everywhere. I saw somebody actually dump their bike right in front of my job about 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And that happens all the time. There's potholes so big that they'll take your wheel off. So that's pretty much all the roads here. Even the highways here are pretty shit. They're really not very well maintained. Part of that is because of the harsh winters and the salt and the extremes that we have in weather. And of course the extraordinary amount of people using the roads here compared to everywhere else.
That's all true.
I guess I could say a couple kind words about New Jersey. Convenience is the number one thing.
He's going to say kind words about Jersey.
That's why so many people live here. So many people are here because it is so convenient. You could walk to anything here. Everything's that convenient in most areas of New Jersey. You're always close to a beach. Where we live, we're about literally 20 minutes from New York City, which some people save up to go vacation there. I go there when I'm bored to get a gyro.
True. And at the other extreme of that, what you're talking about is, right, you could go 45 minutes and be at a beautiful seashore point, at 25, 30, 40 minutes of being in paradise and the woods and...
They have everything. Everything is here.
Everything's here. It's true.
In terms, and one good thing in terms of the big cultural mix, because again, my only real beef there is the fact that nobody speaks English, is the fact that you have everything here. Every type of food, every type of fashion, every type of architecture. I mean, every type of everything that you could think of, you have it right here. Because there are so many cultures blended here.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, so I mean, in that regard, New Jersey, that's why so many people are here, and that's why it's so expensive to be here, because it is unique, like not too many other places that way. But, I mean, the stress level is where that all goes to hell. Yeah. Everything here, doing everything here is stressful. It's way too hard to live. I mean, the cost of living here is outlandish.
It is.
Outlandish.
Right. $14,000 for I mean, I know people that pay double that for a house similar to mine, maybe the next town over. It's absurd.
$1,800 a month is the average rent price here. Food is outrageous. Gas prices suck.
Yeah.
Everything here is extraordinarily expensive.
That's it. I mean, New Jersey, the bad part of this is tough. It weighs on you. I mean, financially and the stress you brought up, it does.
It's also a dangerous state. It's a dangerous state. Traffic fatalities are high,
that's true.
Partially because of, again, traffic density, unlicensed drivers.
And what I said, jadrules.
Tons of idiots
There's
everywhere.
A lot of brain dead people.
It's dangerous in that respect. It's dangerous in terms of crime rate. We have a lot of really shit cities here and a lot of problem areas.
Unfortunately.
And what I was saying before about the interesting part about how certain towns have really beautiful areas and then certain blocks are terrible. Well, it goes from beautiful, like people minding their business, to like drive-bys. I'm not talking about our town specifically.
No.
But there are literal towns
but in some
around
cases,
here
not far away,
where they have to put up a sheriff's tower to keep an eye on particular blocks because of the gang activity.
And we're talking about a town that's extremely wealthy. To boom, you got gang activity
in the same town.
Yeah,
and then of course we have whole towns that are shit here. I mean, we have Camden, which keeps falling almost at the top of the list for
the worst of the worst
for homicides every year. It's a very dangerous state to live in.
It isn't a safe place on a lot of levels. You're right about that.
And there's no such thing as privacy in New Jersey. I mean, I know it's spreading to the rest of the country too, but let me tell you something. There's, of course, the number one thing that I keep talking about, which is the population density. You live about this close to everybody here. There's probably somebody sitting on the other side of me off camera. That's how packed this is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are 200 plus cops per town. There are cameras absolutely everywhere. Everything you do is tracked. Everything you do is recorded. this whole state there is no such thing as privacy
And
here.
yet it's a mess.
None.
I mean, but unfortunately, we're talking, and there's more cons about New Jersey than there are pros.
Yeah, but just if anybody was thinking about coming here, just don't. That's my recommendation.
Well, lots are, so you're recommending
Just
not, but lots are, and I don't know, they see some other way of life here. I don't get it.
I forgot one of the biggest ones, which we discussed in, I think, episode 4, but I'll throw it in there, being that we're discussing it now. You're not allowed to have a gun in New Jersey.
Yeah, well,
Not allowed to carry a gun in New Jersey is what I meant.
yeah.
You're allowed to own guns, and there's lots of restrictions on what you can have here, but you're not allowed to carry one, so you're a sitting duck everywhere you
Well,
go.
it's just-
Remember all that dangerous shit I was just talking about?
Yeah, can't
about
carry
how there's gang activity and there's homicides and all. You don't have a fighting chance anywhere in this state because you're not allowed to have a gun if you're a law-abiding citizen.
here's how it goes if you own a gun, which you do. You get your gun, you buy it, you put it in the trunk, you do everything they say to transport it, bring it home, and sit it in your box and lock it up. So what do you reduce to? I'll go shoot once in a while. I mean, it is ridiculous. The laws are ridiculous. And
For those of you who really want our extended views on the Second Amendment and/or gun rights,
yeah.
that episode still does exist. You're not going to find it on the channel if you're not a patron, but if you do sign up on Patreon, just ask for episode 4 and I'll send you the link, because we did I thought, a really great episode on gun laws
good.
and gun rights. At least, our take on it as legal gun owners.
Right.
In a state where it's hard to actually own a gun. In fact, I mean, we're kind of unique in that respect too, and we're not going to elaborate on this topic, but this state is
right.
mostly liberal and democratic and very anti-Second Amendment, which is why we have the type of gun laws that we have here.
Unbelievable.
Which is also why our take on gun rights and gun laws as to people living in this state is unique and I think definitely worth a watch. So like I said, if you haven't seen episode 4 and you're not a patron and you sign up, ask me for the link and I will email it to you.
So I don't have much more to say. There's pros and cons, and unfortunately, honestly, the cons outweigh the pros. It's sad, I mean, that's the way it goes. I've about exhausted this topic.
No, it sucks. It's not what I planned.
I'm sure.
I thought because New Jersey's such a fucking madhouse, this was going to be... That's why I picked this topic. I thought it was actually going to be kind of high energy.
Well, no,
I guess it kind of turned out that this state is such a fucking shithole.
Well, there you go.
I went from I thought we were going to have fun with this topic to I was fucking bummed out by the end.
Yeah, no fun.
I guess what we just learned
Sucks.
by the expression on our face and the fact that this episode didn't turn out the way it was supposed to. I think the end of this episode basically tells the whole story.
That's
You
it.
could have just skipped to this part and just looked at the look on my face, and that's New Jersey. That's living in New Jersey.
Yeah,
Just if you're here, run as fast as you can. If you're not here, just stay the fuck away from it. This was episode 13. This was a public episode. If you want to see Shooting the Shit, this segment every single week, you have to go to the link at the top of the video description, sign up at the Patreon page. You get not only this segment every week, but you get my full cigar reviews,
all kinds of watch reviews, coffee, all
Cigar
kinds of
War.
reviews.
You get all kinds of
All kinds of
exclusive stuff that you're not even seeing on the channel. Plus, you get exclusive entry into my giveaways. You get all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of patron rewards I set up.
Yeah, if you are a patron or become a patron, you could suggest all the topics you want. Slowly but surely we get
That's right.
to them.
And we discuss the topics that you suggested, but only if you're a patron.
And whatever it may be. You want to see us just go crazy and laugh and throw things around, and fine. And sometimes you hit us with a hot button
We're not
topic.
going to throw anything around. There's a lot of delicate stuff.
You hit us with a hot button topic, and like today, it's a little bit toned down. It's a tough topic, but we'll try and tackle them and talk about them.
It's sad that discussing the state we live in is a tough topic, but
Well,
it is.
It is sad, and it actually is. That's not even saying it lightly. So.
Yeah, this coffee wasn't doing it. I'm going to go have a drink.
Oh, yeah. Let him go have a drink.
Let's,
We did no drinks today. I'll have some water. I beat him to it. No drinks. Good.
See you later.
We're out.
We taking over.